Have you ever imagined an aircraft launching into the sky from a gravel riverbed no longer than your own driveway? Imagine seeing a machine roar to life and rip itself off the ground before it even passes the length of two Ford F-150 trucks. Today, we are looking at 10 extreme short takeoff and landing aircraft that defy physics and laugh at the idea of a paved runway. These are the flying tractors and heavy-duty workhorses of the sky. Now stay with me until the very end, because the number one pick looks less like an aircraft and more like a massive military beast. Hit that subscribe button and let us get into it. The countdown begins with the Cub SS, an absolute featherweight rocket that redefines what a modern bush plane can do. Born from the legendary Cub lineage, this machine takes the classic concept and injects it with modern aerospace engineering. Under the cowling sits a fire-breathing 180-horsepower Titan engine. It delivers a guttural roar you can feel right in your chest. When you combine that massive power output with an airframe utilizing lightweight carbon fiber, you get a thrust-to-weight ratio that rivals some high-performance muscle cars. Visually, the Cub SS looks like a classic, but a closer inspection reveals an aggressive, modernized stance. It sits high and proud on massive low-pressure 29-inch Tundra tires. They look like they were pulled straight off an extreme off-road ATV. However, these oversized tires are not just for show. They allow the aircraft to roll over large river rocks, deep mud, and rutted fields without breaking a sweat. The landing gear is heavily reinforced to take an absolute beating, effortlessly absorbing the violent shocks of unpredictable backcountry terrain. In the real world, this aircraft is the ultimate weekend warrior's dream. It is often built from a kit right in a standard two-car garage using basic mechanical tools. It offers the raw, visceral experience of open window flying. This returns aviation to its gritty mechanical roots. However, weighing in at just around 900 pounds empty, its extreme lightweight nature means pilots must be highly vigilant of sudden crosswinds that could cause a dangerous ground loop. But if you think this lightweight rocket is impressive, wait until you see an aircraft built to bounce off boulders. Coming in at number 9 is the SuperStol, an aircraft that treats the laws of gravity as a mere suggestion. Designed specifically for the most brutal off-grid environments, this high-wing tail-dragger is essentially a flying dirt bike. Power comes from a relentless Rotax engine. It provides a high-revving mechanical soundtrack as it claws its way into the sky. It is built to operate in environments where traditional airplanes would instantly fold in half, capable of coming to a complete dead stop in a distance shorter than a tennis court. The true magic of the SuperStol lies underneath its fuselage. It features a suspension system that looks like it belongs on a Baja 1000 trophy truck. It is equipped with massive pneumatic shock absorbers with an insane amount of travel, paired with giant 29-inch Alaskan bushwheel tires. This extreme setup allows the aircraft to literally drop out of the sky at steep angles. It slams into uneven riverbeds without bouncing back up. The wings feature automatic leading-edge slats that snap out with a loud clunk, generating massive lift at crawling speeds. For real-world applications, the SuperStol is the undisputed king of dropping into tight, rocky clearings. It tackles spots that nobody else would dare attempt. It is a rugged utility machine that can be maintained with a simple toolbox. This appeals heavily to the self-reliant aviator. Weighing around 800 pounds, the major risk is overconfidence. The incredible suspension can tempt pilots into landing on terrain that is simply too steep, leading to a catastrophic propeller strike. Dropping onto rocks is wild, but what if you need a heavy-duty metal machine that hauls serious cargo? At number 8, we have the Zenith STOL CH 801, a machine affectionately known in the aviation community as the Sky Jeep. Unlike fabric-covered bush planes, this beast is a heavy-duty, all-metal workhorse. It is designed to carry massive payloads into the wilderness. It was built around the philosophy of pure, unfiltered utility. It is often powered by a rugged Lycoming engine that delivers relentless, tractor-like torque. When this engine fires up, it sounds like a vintage piece of heavy agricultural machinery, vibrating the entire airframe with raw mechanical energy. The CH-801 makes no apologies for its brutalist, boxy aesthetics. It prioritizes function over any aerodynamic beauty. It features fixed leading-edge slats bolted directly to the thick wings. This generates immense lift and allows it to fly at terrifyingly low speeds without stalling. The heavy-duty tricycle landing gear sets it apart from traditional tail draggers. It offers a sturdy, wide stance that prevents it from tipping over on rough terrain. Imagine taking a rugged utility pickup truck, bolting wings to the roof and pointing it at a short, muddy farm field. This aircraft was designed specifically for humanitarian missions, cargo hauling, and heavy utility work in places where infrastructure is virtually non-existent. Capable of carrying over 1,000 pounds of useful load, field repairs can be executed anywhere with basic hand tools and a sheet of aluminum. The trade-off for this massive lifting capability is a painful lack of cruising speed. Flying it cross-country is like driving a farm tractor on the highway. A metal utility truck is fantastic, but what if you want that ruggedness wrapped in an airframe built for pure speed? Taking the number 7 spot is the RANS S-21 Outbound. This is an aircraft that beautifully bridges the gap between a high-speed cruiser and a backcountry brawler. While most short takeoff aircraft sacrifice all top-end speed for lift, the S-21 offers a massive Titan 340 engine. This engine pulls the all-metal machine through the air with absolute authority. It is designed for the pilot who needs to cover vast, open distances across the American West before diving into a remote, high-altitude mountain strip, cruising easily at over 150 miles per hour. From the outside, the Outbound presents a sleek aerodynamic profile. This sharply contrasts with its aggressive off-road capabilities. It sits solidly on heavy-duty aluminum spring gear. This gear flexes and absorbs the harsh impacts of off-airport landings without the need for complex, heavy shock absorbers. Wrapped in rugged tundra tires, the stance is wide and imposing. It ensures that the aircraft remains incredibly stable when rolling over deeply rutted dirt strips. It is the flying equivalent of a high-performance desert pre-runner truck, incredibly fast on the open stretch and tough in the dirt. In practical terms, this aircraft is highly favored by ranchers and property owners who need to quickly inspect vast tracts of open land. The all-metal construction makes it highly resistant to the harsh outdoor elements. This means it can be tied down outside in the blazing sun without degrading like fabric-covered planes. However, its sleek aerodynamic design means it requires slightly more runway than the dedicated slow flyers on this list. Modern engineering is great, but sometimes you have to look back at the grandfathers of backcountry aviation to understand true mechanical survival. Number 6 brings us face-to-face with absolute royalty, the Piper PA-18 Super Cub, the undisputed grandfather of modern bush flying. Introduced in the late 1940s, this aircraft essentially invented the concept of the flying pickup truck for the Alaskan wilderness. Powered by a legendary Lycoming engine, it produces a distinct rhythmic thumping exhaust note. That sound echoes off mountain walls like vintage heavy equipment. It is a machine stripped down to its bare mechanical essentials. It utilizes a welded steel tube fuselage covered in tightly stretched heavy-duty aircraft fabric. To look at a highly modified Super Cub is to look at a machine built strictly for extreme backcountry survival. The original skinny tires have long been replaced by massive 31-inch Alaskan bush wheels. This makes the aircraft look like a giant insect wearing oversized boots. The bungee cord suspension system is old school and raw. It provides a bouncy but incredibly tough mechanism for absorbing the brutal impacts of landing on river gravel bars. The massive high-lift wings give it the ability to loiter in the sky at speeds so slow it looks like it is hovering. The Super Cub's legacy is built on the backs of rugged men. They used it to supply remote hunting camps and rescue stranded explorers in the harshest winter conditions. Maintaining one is an exercise in classic mechanics. There are no computers, just cables, pulleys, and straightforward heavy wrenches. The biggest danger of flying this classic tail dragger is the dreaded ground loop. A sudden crosswind can spin the 2,000-pound loaded aircraft out of control on the ground. We have seen the classic grandfather, but how does its modern descendant handle the backcountry? Before we move on to the top 5 most extreme short takeoff aircraft, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. It really helps YouTube show this mechanical madness to more people just like you. Cracking into the top 5 is the Aviate Husky, a machine that took the legendary Super Cub formula and rebuilt it with modern heavy-duty engineering. Born in the late 1980s, the Husky was designed for the pilot who wanted classic bushplane performance without dealing with 70-year-old metal fatigue. It is powered by a fuel-injected Lycoming engine that delivers crisp, instantaneous throttle response. It pulls the airframe forward with violent torque. When a Husky pilot pushes the throttle to the firewall, the aircraft launches upward with the raw aggression of a tuned muscle car. The Husky's visual presence is defined by its rugged, no-nonsense construction and aggressively raked nose-high stance. Its heavy-duty bungee suspension is shrouded in protective fairings, and it rides on massive tundra tires. These tires effortlessly crush small bushes and rocks beneath them. The wings are heavily reinforced and feature massive slotted flaps that deploy downward. This creates a huge pocket of air that acts like a parachute to slow the plane down instantly. It is built tougher and heavier than its predecessors, requiring a strong physical touch on the flight controls. Today, the Husky is heavily utilized by government agencies for border patrol, wildlife tracking, and pipeline inspection in deeply remote areas. Weighing in at a maximum gross weight of 2,200 pounds, its strong airframe can carry a massive payload. This makes it the perfect tool for hauling chainsaws and heavy supplies. The trade-off for this added strength is a heavier control feel. Flying a Husky is a physical workout that demands serious muscle input. The Husky is a serious professional tool, but what if you need to haul your entire family into the woods? At number 4, we have the Maule M-5, an aircraft that proves you do not have to sacrifice passenger capacity to achieve insane short-field performance. This is essentially the heavy-duty flying station wagon of the backcountry. It boasts 4 full seats and a massive rear cargo area. Powered by a roaring 6-cylinder Lycoming engine producing 235 horsepower, the Maule delivers a deep, throaty exhaust growl. This sound is more like a heavy-duty diesel truck. It is designed to carry a massive load of people and gear out of muddy, unforgiving farm fields. The Maule M-5 features a distinctly utilitarian design. It is easily recognized by its robust tailwheel configuration and signature double cargo doors that open wide enough to load 55-gallon drums. Unlike the lightweight, bare-bones planes on this list, the Maule sits on heavy oleo-strut landing gear. This uses hydraulic fluid and compressed air to soak up the punishment of rough airstrips. The fuselage is a rugged mix of steel tubing and aluminum, giving it the structural integrity of a roll cage. With large bush tires installed, it looks incredibly imposing, ready to haul heavy loads. This aircraft was famously designed by B.D. Maule, a brilliant mechanic. He built planes specifically to operate out of his own incredibly short, rural dirt strip. In the real world, it is the ultimate family adventure machine. It is capable of hauling 4 adults and their hunting gear with a max takeoff weight of 2,500 pounds. The primary challenge is managing its heavy weight during slow-speed maneuvers, as it drops like a rock if the pilot gets too slow. Hauling a family is impressive, but what about experiencing the hovering performance of a military legend? Taking the number 3 spot is the absolutely bizarre Slepčev Storch. It is a 3/4 scale modern replica of the legendary German PZL Storch from World War II. This aircraft is a pure nostalgia trip, designed to replicate the mind-bending slow flight capabilities of the original military spotter plane. Powered by a modern Rotax or small radial engine, it puts through the sky with a rhythmic mechanical clatter. It is not built for speed nor for comfort. It is built to essentially hover in mid-air and land in spaces so small it completely defies logic and physics. Visually, the Storch looks like a giant mechanical praying mantis. It features incredibly long, stilt-like landing gear. This is designed with massive coil springs that compress deeply upon impact. It absorbs steep drops that would shatter a normal airplane. The wings are heavily slatted and flapped, looking incredibly complex with massive gaps and heavy hinges exposed to the wind. Because of its massive glass canopy, the pilot sits inside a transparent greenhouse. This offers unmatched visibility for spotting terrain or wildlife directly below. It truly looks like a piece of vintage military hardware that accidentally traveled forward in time. This machine appeals heavily to history buffs and mechanics. They want a piece of World War II aviation history without the multi-million-dollar price tag. Weighing under 1,000 pounds empty, it is a fantastic conversation starter at any airfield, but flying it requires intense concentration. Because it is incredibly light and features massive high-lift wings, it is highly susceptible to being thrown around by thermal updrafts and crosswinds. This makes it exhausting to fly on a breezy day. If you thought the Storch looked bizarre, wait until you see the brutalist design of the Polish Wilga. Coming in at number 2 is the PZL-104 Wilga, an absolute monster of Eastern European engineering. It looks like it was designed in a heavy tank factory. This aircraft is powered by a massive oil-spitting 9-cylinder radial engine. It belches smoke and roars with a deafening industrial thunder. Everything about the Wilga screams heavy machinery. It was built to tow heavy gliders and drop paratroopers in the absolute worst weather conditions imaginable. It has a ridiculous power-to-weight ratio, ripping its nearly 3,000-pound frame off the ground with violent force. The Wilga has a face that only a heavy diesel mechanic could love. It features an enormous blunt engine cowling and an incredibly tall, imposing stance. Its most striking feature is the massive trailing link landing gear. It extends outward like the legs of a giant mechanical spider. This heavy-duty hydraulic articulation allows the aircraft to soak up brutal impacts from deep ruts and massive potholes on unpaved logging roads. Paired with huge low-pressure tires, the Wilga sits on the ramp looking like a heavily armored off-road recovery vehicle, ready for an apocalyptic war. In practical use, the Wilga is unmatched for heavy towing and operating in brutal freezing environments where delicate western planes might fail. Maintaining that massive radial engine requires gallons of thick oil, a massive wrench set, and a high tolerance for getting your hands dirty. The sheer aerodynamic drag created by its blunt shape means it burns fuel at an alarming rate. It flies at a sluggish 100 miles per hour. We have looked at light utility machines, but what happens when you apply these insane short takeoff capabilities to a massive military transport weighing tens of thousands of pounds? Claiming the number 1 spot on our list is an aircraft that completely shatters the definition of short takeoff, the massive DHC-5 Buffalo. While everything else we looked at was a light utility plane, the Buffalo is a colossal military tactical transport. It operates like a heavy-duty semi-truck with wings, powered by 2 earth-shaking General Electric turboprop engines. It produces over 6,000 combined horsepower. The noise it generates on takeoff is a physical chest-crushing force. It was designed to carry heavy military vehicles, artillery, and dozens of troops into tiny dirt airstrips. Visually, the Buffalo is an absolute behemoth. It features a massive high-mounted T-tail and an enormous rear cargo ramp. This ramp drops down to load heavy machinery directly into its cavernous belly. The landing gear on this giant is a masterpiece of heavy engineering. It utilizes massive dual-wheel bogies and huge hydraulic struts. This design absorbs the impact of slamming 49,000 pounds of steel onto unpaved dirt. Watching this massive beast deploy its gigantic barn door-sized flaps and crawl through the air at aggressively slow speeds is an eerie, logic-defying sight. The Buffalo's most famous party trick at air shows was its ability to pitch up at an almost vertical angle. Immediately after a terrifyingly short takeoff roll of less than 1,000 feet, it served as the ultimate heavy lifter in some of the most unforgiving combat zones on the planet. Maintaining this monster requires a full team of highly trained military mechanics and serious logistical support. It represents the absolute pinnacle of extreme aviation engineering. It proves that with enough raw horsepower and mechanical grit, even a massive flying warehouse can launch off a short dirt road. From lightweight kit planes to heavy-duty military transports, these machines are not just aircraft. They represent the ultimate mechanical solutions to the world's most unforgiving terrains. They share one thing in common: raw, unfiltered horsepower combined with rugged durability. Now, which of these short takeoff monsters did you find the strangest? And which one would you want to see in person? Let's get a debate going in the comments below. Every week there is a new video exploring heavy machinery, so hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell now